You're not broke because you're lazy. You're not broke because you're dumb. And no, you're definitely not broke because Starbucks is too expensive. You're broke because no one ever taught you how to think about money. Seriously, think about it. Did anyone ever sit you down and explain budgeting? Did school teach you how to manage a credit card, build an emergency fund, or invest $100? Probably not. Instead, most of us learned about money by watching the people around us struggle with it. We saw parents stressing over bills, arguing about expenses, or working nonstop just to stay afloat. We picked up habits without realizing it, habits that felt normal, even though they were keeping us stuck. And in the US, where debt is normalized and spending is culture, it's dangerously easy to fall into the same trap. Swipe now, stress later. Live paycheck to paycheck and hope it gets better. Tell yourself you'll figure it out eventually, just not today. But here's the thing. If you don't rewrite the script, it doesn't matter how much you earn. You'll always feel broke. Because wealth doesn't start with money. It starts with mindset, with small daily decisions that compound over time, and with habits that either build you or break you. This episode is your wake-up call. Today, we're going to unpack the habits that keep people broke, smart, hardworking, well-meaning people just like you, and how to flip them one by one. We're not here to shame you. We're here to show you what's actually possible when you change the way you think about money and take back control. So if you've ever said, I make money, but I don't know where it goes, or I want to save, but I never have enough, or I'll figure it out later, then this episode is for you. Let's dive in. Let's start with the truth that no one likes to admit. Most of our money habits weren't chosen. They were absorbed. We didn't learn how to handle money. We copied what we saw. And most of what we saw wasn't healthy. Think about your childhood. Did your parents talk openly about money? Did they budget together? Save regularly? Invest consistently? Or was money always a source of stress? Something that triggered arguments, fear, or silence? For a lot of us, money was emotional before it was logical. We learned that it disappears fast, that there's never enough, that it causes pressure, anxiety, and maybe even guilt when you spend it on yourself. And if your parents struggled financially, which so many did, you probably picked up a scarcity mindset without realizing it. A belief that money is hard to earn, that it's something to fear, that financial security is only for other people. And on top of that, the world outside wasn't helping either. School taught us geometry and Shakespeare, but nothing about credit scores, debt, or taxes. No one showed us how interest compounds or how one late payment can mess up your finances for years. And the media? Even worse. TV, Instagram, TikTok, they glorify spending, not saving. They show us lifestyles we can't afford and tell us we're failing if we don't keep up. So what do? We overspend to feel enough. We swipe credit cards for temporary dopamine. We don't track our money because it's easier not to look. And we tell ourselves it's normal because everyone else is doing it too. But just because it's common doesn't mean it's healthy. Most of the financial habits that keep people poor, they feel normal, they feel familiar, but they're quietly draining your future. And until you pause and question them, you'll keep repeating the same cycle, no matter how many raises you get or how much you try to budget better. That's why this episode matters. Because the first step to changing your money habits is realizing they're not yours. They're borrowed. And now, you get to rewrite them. In the next part, I'm going to break down 7 of the most common habits that keep people broke, and why they feel so normal, even when they're doing real damage. Let's keep going. Let's talk about something uncomfortable. If you're constantly wondering where your money goes, if you feel like you're always catching up, even when your income increases, you're not alone. You're also not broken. You might just be stuck in habits that feel completely normal, but are quietly keeping you broke. Let's break down 7 of the most common money habits that do exactly that. Habit 1, spending money to feel successful. You get paid and your first thought is, I deserve something. New shoes, a night out, something fun from Amazon. because you worked hard and this little purchase makes you feel good. But here's the hard truth. Spending to feel successful doesn't make you successful. It makes you dependent on money to feel worthy. And over time, that adds up to a lot of wasted income and no real progress. Habit 2. Living paycheck to paycheck by default. This isn't just a low-income problem. You can earn a decent salary and still live month to month if you spend everything you make. Living paycheck to paycheck isn't always about how much you earn. It's about not giving your money a plan. And when you don't have a plan, money disappears fast. Habit 3. Never tracking your expenses. If you don't know where your money goes, you have zero control over it. And here's the thing, your brain will lie to you. You'll always underestimate what you spend. Tracking doesn't have to be complicated. You can use an app, a notebook, even a spreadsheet template, but you have to know your numbers. Otherwise, your money is managing you, not the other way around. Habit 4. Treating credit cards like free money. This one hurts a lot of people. A credit card is not free money. It's a delayed expense with interest. But the swipe makes it feel invisible. No cash leaves your hand. You just get what you want now. And that later becomes months of payments and growing debt. If you can't pay it in full, don't swipe it. Credit isn't the problem. Misuse is. Habit 5. The I'll save later mindset. This is one of the most dangerous lies we tell ourselves. We think saving is something we'll do when we earn more. But here's what actually happens. When your income grows, so do your expenses, unless you build the habit now. If you can't save $10 from $100, you won't save $1,000 from $10,000. Start with whatever you can. The amount doesn't matter. The habit does. Habit 6. No emergency fund, no backup plan, no safety net. One flat tire, one unexpected bill, and suddenly you're using your credit card, or worse, taking out a loan. An emergency fund isn't about luxury. It's about breathing room. It gives you control, peace of mind, and the ability to make better decisions under pressure. Start small. Even a few $100s saved is better than zero. Habit 7. Upgrading your lifestyle with every raise. This is what keeps so many people broke, despite promotions and raises. You earn more, so you spend more. New apartment, new car, better tech, nicer clothes. That's called lifestyle inflation. And unless you fight it, you'll never feel ahead, just slightly more comfortable, but still broke. The goal is simple. Keep your lifestyle steady while your income grows. That gap between income and expenses, that's where wealth lives. Here's the thing. These habits don't make you a failure. They make you normal. But normal is broke, stressed, and stuck. You don't need to flip everything overnight. You just need to notice the pattern and decide to break it. And in the next part, we'll look at how awareness itself is the first step to freedom. Because once you see your habits clearly, they stop controlling you. Let's keep going. Let's pause for a moment. Before we talk about fixing anything, we need to talk about noticing. Because awareness, real, honest awareness, is the most underrated financial skill you'll ever build. Most people try to change their money habits by forcing willpower. Okay, no more spending. I'm deleting all the apps. I'll save this month for sure. But they skip the first step. You can't fix what you don't understand. And most of our money patterns are automatic. They happen on autopilot. That's why the first real shift in your financial life doesn't start with a budget. It starts with observation, not judgment, just observation. Start by asking, where is my money actually going? What do I spend on when I'm tired, or bored, or anxious? What purchases do I regret? And which ones actually feel worth it? You don't need fancy systems. You don't need an Excel sheet with 20 tabs. You just need a way to track what's already happening. Try this. For 1 week, just 7 days, write down every single thing you spend money on. Coffee, groceries, Uber, that quick Amazon order, everything. And then review it. Not with shame, but with curiosity. Where are the patterns? What surprises you? What doesn't align with your values? Because here's the thing, when you become aware of your patterns, they lose power over you. You start to notice the little lies, the tiny justifications, the I deserve it moments that slowly drain your future. And from that awareness comes choice. You get to decide, Do I really want to keep spending this way? Is this helping me or holding me back? That's the moment the cycle starts to break. Not with a big dramatic change, but with a small decision made in full awareness. From there, you can start to shift, gently, intentionally, sustainably, because when you see clearly, you act differently, and that's where real transformation begins. In the next part, we'll explore the actual habits that build wealth, even if your income is small. Because the truth is, you don't need to be rich to start acting like someone who builds wealth. Let's get into it. Let's get something straight. Wealth is not about how much you make. It's about what you do with what you have. Because here's the truth most people never hear. You don't need a six-figure salary to start building wealth. You just need consistent habits and a mindset that plays the long game. Let's walk through a few habits that anyone can start. Yes, even if you're earning minimum wage, even if you're still in school, even if you feel behind. Habit 1. Pay yourself first. Before you pay your bills, before you order takeout, before you do anything with your money, set something aside for your future, even $5, even 2% of your paycheck. This one habit rewires everything. It flips the script from save what's left over to save on purpose. Start small. Set up an auto transfer to a separate savings account. Make it invisible, make it non-negotiable. Habit 2. Automate your savings. You don't rise to the level of your intentions. You fall to the level of your systems. Automation removes willpower from the equation. Whether it's $10 a week into a savings account or rounding up every purchase to save change, make it automatic. The less you have to think about it, the more likely it will happen. Habit 3. Build the delayed gratification muscle. This is the opposite of impulse buying. It's the ability to wait, to say, I don't need this today. Let me sit on it for 48 hours. And most of the time, the craving disappears. You move on. This habit, small as it sounds, is what separates spenders from builders. Habit 4. Spend based on values, not emotions. Instead of asking, can I afford this? Ask, does this align with what matters to me? Some people value experiences. Some value freedom. Some value creativity or security. The point is, spend money where it adds meaning to your life and cut ruthlessly where it doesn't. Mindless spending keeps you stuck. Intentional spending moves you forward. Habit 5. Use windfalls to build, not reward. Got a bonus? A tax refund? Birthday money? Most people rush to celebrate. New gadgets? Big dinners? Maybe a mini vacation. But smart money builders pause and ask, how can I use this to buy myself freedom? Pay off debt. Add to savings. Start that emergency fund. It's not about being boring. It's about being free. Because every dollar has a job, and your job is to give it the right one. These habits don't require wealth. They build it. Quietly, slowly, consistently. And the earlier you start, the more powerful they become. Because habits compound, just like interest. In the next part, we'll talk about the identity shift. Because real, lasting change doesn't just come from what you do, it comes from how you see yourself. Let's go there. Let's talk about something deeper than budgeting, saving, or spending. Let's talk about identity. Because no matter how many habits you try to build, no matter how many apps you download or spreadsheets you fill out, nothing truly changes unless your mindset changes with it. Most people walk around with a quiet belief that shapes everything they do with money. Maybe you've said it to yourself. I'm just not good with money. I've always been bad at saving. People like me don't get rich. I'll always be playing catch-up. These aren't just thoughts, they're identity statements. And they act like invisible rules you don't even realize you're following. But here's the truth. No one is born bad with money. No one is born knowing how to invest, how to budget, or how to make smart financial decisions. Those are learned skills. And if they can be learned, they can be practiced. And if they can be practiced, they can be mastered. So let's flip the script. Instead of saying, I'm bad with money, try this. I'm learning how to manage money better. Instead of, I never save, say, I'm building the habit of saving, starting small. Instead of, I'll always be broke, say, I'm becoming someone who builds wealth over time. This isn't just positive thinking, it's retraining your brain to expect a different future and act accordingly, because your actions will always follow your identity. If you believe you're a spender, you'll keep spending. If you believe you're a builder, you'll start building. The shift starts small. You open a savings account, you say no to one impulse purchase, you track your expenses for a week, and then you do it again, and again, and again. And over time, the proof builds. You stop thinking, I hope I can do this, and start thinking, this is who I am now. That's the builder mindset. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be wealthy. You just need to believe that improvement is possible and keep showing up. And if you've listened this far, you've already started. In the final part of this episode, I'll bring it all together. We'll talk about why you're closer than you think to turning your finances around and how to keep moving forward, one habit at a time. Let's finish strong. Let's be honest, building better money habits can feel overwhelming. There's so much noise, so much advice, so many mistakes in the past. It's easy to think you're too late, or that you're too far behind, or that real financial stability is for other people with better jobs, better education, or better luck. But here's the truth. You're not too late. You're not too far behind, and you're absolutely not stuck. You're probably just one or two small changes away from a completely different direction. Not everything needs to change overnight. You don't need to be perfect. You just need momentum. One habit, one decision, one day at a time. Maybe that means checking your bank balance every morning instead of avoiding it. Maybe it means setting up an auto transfer to your savings, even if it's just $5. Maybe it means saying no to something small so you can say yes to something bigger down the line. These aren't dramatic moves. They're quiet choices, but over time, they shift everything. Because when you stack small wins, they turn into real progress. And real progress builds confidence. And confidence makes you unstoppable. So if you're listening to this and you're thinking, can I really turn this around? The answer is yes. Absolutely yes. You don't need more money to start building wealth. You just need to stop leaking it through habits that no longer serve you. You don't need more motivation. You just need a little bit of structure and a lot of consistency. And you don't need anyone's permission to start. You're already doing it. You pressed play, you stayed with it. And that tells me you're serious. Now take the next step. Track your spending. Build your emergency fund. Break one old habit. Start one new one. You're closer than you think, and you're not doing this alone. We're in this together. Take a breath. You've got this.
Thank you for listening. If this episode resonated with you, the best way to support the podcast is to hit like, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to hear it. Every bit of support helps us keep creating content that actually matters. See you in the next one.